Okay, everybody, it is June 27th, 2023, and I thought it would be a good idea to post another update. I've gotten some questions and some feedback, and I don't think this will be a short one, probably about the same length as the previous, maybe a two-parter. I'm not sure. Just kind of wing it. I'm actually kind of tired today. I got to get up early. I'm heading to Tampa for work in the morning. Um, for those who don't know, I work at home. I work in IT. Um, I work at home and I occasionally go up to the office in Tampa. Um, Tomorrow is one of those days. I think it would be a good day just to kind of break myself out of the routine of the last few weeks and do something different. So gonna do that. It's just a one-day trip. So I'll be back tomorrow night. But today is actually today's a special day. Um, it's June 27th. My parents were married on June 27th, 1970. So that's about, I want to say it's about 53 years. Um, he fell just short of that, of course. I know they were looking forward to it, but it ended up being, um, I think it ended up being an okay day, hopefully for my mom. My sister, my Aunt Mary Lou, um, my mom, they all went out to the Indian Reservation Casino here and had a fun day, had some lunch. Um, um, I don't believe they want any money. I think my sister wants some money and I'm gonna I'll go ahead and guess she probably gave that to my mom. Um, so it was a nice day, and then after I got off work with my wife, me, my wife, my oldest Destin, my oldest stepson, and of course Keegan. We brought her, my Aunt Mary Lou, out to the Outback, one of my father's favorite places to go on special days. So we went to the Outback and had a good time, and um, that was pretty much the day. I think, considering, I think it was an okay day. Um, so so that was today. Like I said, I am a bit tired, so I apologize if I'm scattered at times. I do have kind of a plan of what I want to talk about, but there's no set guidelines for me as far as the agenda goes. It pretty much depends on how tired I get and if I could find my notes somewhere around here. Um, all right, so first thing, those who have donated, from the beginning since the last update, it should go without saying, but I'm going to say it. Thank you very much for donating. It has been very helpful. Um, Prayers, cards, the likes, the reaching out, all the support has definitely been helpful and appreciated. I'm gonna try to explain a little bit better the financial stuff and where some of those donations and things are going. Um, I don't want to get into too much detail, but hopefully enough to kind of paint a picture um, of where we're at. So I kind of wanted to start. One of the questions was somebody asked a little bit more about my father. We've had some donations from people who um, didn't really know him, but they still donated and just because they're um, I mean there's with today's society, you just wonder if there's really good people out there still, and there are. Um, I think the news and everything just kind of makes it always seem like doom and gloom and division and hatred and stuff. But there are good people, and I'm willing to bet that it doesn't really matter what party or any of that, all those differences and stuff. It's at the end of the day, I mean, we're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about another person and people who they're just going through a hard time right now. So So anyway, thank you for everybody who's done that. Um, let's see. So my father was born on March 29th, 1944. I'll try to make this quick, by the way. To his father, Francis, um, and his mom, Claire. Claire passed away a few years ago. His father passed away, I believe, in 1975 or so. I never knew him. Well, he might have known me. I was born in 1972, so um, but he died shortly after I was born. So um, he was a World War II vet. According to, and I didn't know this, according to his papers, his 214 or whatever it's called. It's a military paper. He had several, 4 or 5 awards, decorations, what have you, that he won. He was a World War II veteran, and it sounds like he had a pretty distinguished career in the Army. I did get this paper, although the background might throw it off a little. This is I'm going to try to do this. This is my grandfather's certificate from Gerald Ford, honoring him for his service to the United States. My father should be receiving a similar one, as I understand it. So looking forward to that. I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. So that was in 1944. He was born at Fort McClelland in Anniston, Alabama, on an Army base. So a lot of people, I mean, I find that interesting. So I don't know the background of what happened after that. Somehow he ended up in Connecticut, in Norwalk, which is where I was born. But he was a graduate, I believe, of Brian McMahon High School in 1964. That's where I believe he met my mother. Um, he was the first of 5 children. He had, let's see, my Uncle Bob was the youngest, and then my Uncle Tom, my Uncle Al, my Aunt Pat, and of course my father. The middle order is all over the place. I forget who the next oldest and so forth was, but my father was the oldest. My Uncle Bob's the youngest. My Uncle Bob is the surviving member of all the brothers. So and he was here, so I'm glad he was able to come down to see him before he passed. Anyway, my father, after Brian McMahon, my father enlisted and served in the U.S. Navy from about 1965. I think it was in October, to 1969. He served aboard the USS Independence. I believe he was a gunner's mate 2 or GMT 2. Again, I'm not an expert on this stuff. This is what I've been told as far as who interpreted his 214 document. He had one, it's actually kind of a funny story. He had one award listed on that paper, and it was a National Defense Service Award. I don't know if I said this in the last video, but when I asked him about this award, he whispered softly, participation trophy, which I thought was kind of funny because that's typical of him. So he served on USS Independence, CV-62. I believe he was also on the USS Estes. I might be pronouncing that wrong. I know he spent time in Novsta, Spain. And he's told me stories. I guess he really enjoyed it there. He told me stories of he was into cars, so he used to drive around and apparently he had a lot of fun running over rabbits and such over there. But he also told me about a time when he actually had to hold up by gunpoint two or three of his two or three others, I think, service members, because they lacked certain credentials and so forth. And he told me it was he was terrified of that incident. Fortunately, it all worked out. Everything got worked out there, of course, and that incident passed. But he told me about that time, and I had no idea that he had to hold somebody up, or two or three people up. So there's that. So after serving, he actually had an opportunity to down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to serve in the nuclear physics area, which was an area that he was he kind of specialized in. There's explosives and nuclear physics and such. So he had an opportunity to do that. Around that time, I know he met my mother, and um, my mother said that if it's something that he wanted to do, he needed to do, then he should do it. He chose not to. He chose to stay, turned down the position or the job, and he stayed in Norwalk, Connecticut. And so after that, he served in Norwalk. Not served. He went to the auto technician field and worked at Smitty Shell in Westport for decades. And my uncle Tom also worked there as well. So, and I remember going there and cleaning his tools when I was very young. I think it kept me busy, but I think he preferred his tools to be greasy and dirty, well used. But I like doing it. Kept me busy. I still remember the smell of the place. And that was back when it was like before self-serve. So it was full service, and it was it was pretty cool. Anyway, something I won't forget. So from there, so that was Norwalk. I lived there until I was about 5, and then we moved to Bethel, Connecticut, and then he used to commute to Westport to work and such. So I'm going to pause here. I got to stop the video before 15 minutes. This will be part 1, and I'll look for part 2 to be posted or be up there in a moment.